Hello, and welcome to the Shepherd of the Hills Fish Hatchery in Branson, Missouri, nestled among the world-famous Ozark Hills. We are so happy you have decided to visit. You are about to embark on a journey taken by approximately 1.5 million trout and nearly 250,000 visitors each year. Anglers from all over visit Missouri's waters for a chance to catch one of these beautiful and tasty trout. What makes the Ozarks such a paradise for trout? Well, like some of our visitors, the fish you'll meet today are not native to Missouri. Rainbow trout were originally brought from California in the 1880s. Years later, brown trout were introduced from Utah. Neither species were able to maintain healthy populations, though, as they found most Missouri waters too warm, especially during the summer. That would all change in time, as human activity turned this area into an ideal spot for cold water-loving trout. The construction of the 252-foot-tall Table Rock Dam in the 1950s changed neighboring Lake Taneycomo from a warm water to a cold water lake. Table Rock Lake is more than 200 feet deep in some places, and the water at the bottom averages 48 degrees Fahrenheit year-round. When the water from the bottom of Table Rock Lake flows into Lake Taneycomo, it creates the perfect cold water environment for our beloved trout. But very few trout reproduce in Taneycomo due to constantly changing water levels created by water releases from Table Rock Lake. As trout fishing grew in popularity in Missouri in the early 1900s, the Missouri Department of Conservation established trout hatcheries to keep up with fishing demand. To sustain a thriving population of trout statewide, construction of Shepherd of the Hills Hatchery began in 1957. Today, the Conservation Department operates 5 trout hatcheries. Bennett Spring, Montauk, and Roaring River are located within state parks. Merrimack Spring is situated in a private park owned by the James Foundation. Shepherd of the Hills, the largest trout hatchery operated by the Missouri Department of Conservation, rounds out the state's cold water facilities. Of the trout produced here, the majority are destined for the cool waters of Lake Taneycomo, while the remaining trout are stocked in other streams throughout Missouri, and even, during winter, to some of our community lakes. None of the fish raised in hatcheries operated by the Missouri Department of Conservation are sold. Instead, they are stocked for public fishing and used for education programs, offering new anglers a chance to catch their first fish and learn more about fishing. Now let's dive into the always fascinating, sometimes fishy, process of trout spawning. Rainbow trout broodstock, mature fish ready for breeding, are kept year-round and divided into spring and fall spawning groups. Brown trout broodstock, on the other hand, must make the journey up a fish ladder from Lake Taneycomo each fall. Next comes sorting, where males and females are separated. The females are checked weekly for egg readiness. To do this, hatchery staff gently press on the belly of a female trout. If she easily releases her eggs, they are considered ripe, and she is ready to spawn. During this stage, gentle sedatives help make the fish easier to handle. Males are hand-spawned, but females are air-spawned, a process in which oxygen is injected into the fish, pushing out the eggs. This method requires less physical handling and causes less damage to the delicate eggs. Each female is capable of producing 3,000 to 5,000 eggs once a year during spawning season. After they are removed, the eggs and sperm from several fish are mixed for fertilization. Having several different fish make up the batch of fertilized eggs enhances genetic diversity. The fertilized eggs then rest in water for about an hour to harden. Finally, each trout is weighed and inspected to determine if it will be kept for an additional year of spawning or be retired to the lake. Inside the hatchery building, fertilized eggs are counted and placed in incubation jars with a constant flow of water. About 2 weeks after fertilization, the eggs eye up. The tiny black dots that will become their eyes begin to form. Eggs that turn white have not been fertilized. It takes about a month for the eggs to hatch into sac fry. These newly hatched trout are then moved to aluminum troughs where their yolk sacs provide food for the next 2 to 3 weeks. Since the yolk sacs make the young fish too heavy to swim, they rest at the bottom of the tanks. In the wild, young trout hide in gravel beds on the bottom of a stream. Once the trout have fully consumed their yolk sac, they have reached their swim-up stage. This is the first time young trout begin to search for food on their own. Here at the hatchery, swim-ups are fed by hand every 30 minutes throughout the day. Later, they are moved to larger fiberglass tanks where automatic feeders dispense meals every 30 minutes throughout the day as they continue to grow. After about 4 to 5 months in the hatchery building, trout reach 3 inches in length and are called fingerlings. Fingerlings are transferred to outdoor raceways. Raceways are long, narrow pools of moving water protected by predator shields to keep the trout safe from herons and other fishing birds. Here, in oxygen-enriched waters created by diffusion towers, they are fed multiple times a day by truck or by hand with food specially formulated from fish meal, minerals, nutrients, and cod liver oil. Fish waste is flushed every 2 weeks into settling ponds, and dead fish are removed daily to monitor for disease and maintain fish health. As they grow, some of the trout are moved from one raceway to another to prevent overcrowding. Since this would be a massive undertaking using only a rod and reel, staff use more efficient methods. Trout are herded into one end of a raceway where they are lifted in a basket by a boom truck. Here they are weighed, counted, and transferred to transport trucks. Once they reach 10 to 11 inches, the trout are ready to be released into Lake Taneycomo. They are loaded onto a stocking boat and spread throughout the lake. Depending on time of year, 20,000 to 80,000 trout are stocked each month. This is where their hatchery journey ends and your journey begins. We are thrilled you've chosen to spend time with us at the Shepherd of the Hills Fish Hatchery. The Conservation Education Center where you are sitting today was completed in 2024. You are encouraged to explore exhibits throughout the building to learn more about our Missouri wildlife. In addition to brown and rainbow trout, exhibits highlight the area's reptiles, amphibians, and other local animals that call the Ozarks home. Many of our visitors enjoy walking the raceways, where they can encounter the stars of our show up close. Visitors are welcome to feed the trout in the raceways, but please use only feed from hatchery vending machines. Their diet is carefully formulated for growth, and outside food can be hazardous to their health. After meeting the locals, we invite you to explore the 3 miles of hiking trails along the shore of Lake Taneycomo. Finally, no visit to our facility would be complete without experiencing trout fishing for yourself. We maintain 1 mile of shore fishing access along Lake Taneycomo, so don't forget to purchase a fishing license and trout permit online or at the front desk. Your support for the Missouri Department of Conservation helps ensure our waterways remain well-stocked with beautiful trout. We wish you well as you enjoy Branson's beautiful hill country. And remember, a lifetime of memories is just a cast away.